Welcome to SUSD Spotlight, your go-to source for all things happening within the district. Whether it's celebrating student and staff achievements, delving into trending education topics, or highlighting inspiring human interest stories, we've got you covered. Join us as we illuminate the incredible endeavors taking place in our schools and forge connections within our community. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and engaged as we embark on this journey together, spotlighting the extraordinary in SUSD.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Spotlight. We typically join you from our studio at the Mojave District Annex, but today is a special treat. We're out at Laguna Elementary School with some budding scientists here, fifth graders, as they experience the eclipse. We're excited to experience it with them, and they're going to share all of this with Dr. Menzel.
So today, SUSD Spotlight is live on site at Laguna Elementary with teacher Mr. Bogan.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
So what's so special about today at Laguna?
Yeah, fantastic. So we're a STEAM school, right? So when there's science things happening in the real world, we want to make sure to engage in that. So our fifth graders right now are out here observing the solar eclipse, you know? So we're not going to have one of these for another 20, 25 years. We want to make sure that they get a chance to experience it. We're not in a total eclipse though, we're in a partial eclipse. So we can't safely look at the sun and it's gonna be really bad for our eyes. So we've problem solved, we figured out a way that we can observe what's happening with the eclipse without actually looking up at the eclipse.
So what did the students do in preparation?
All right, so first of all, of course, we had our lessons, right? We had our background knowledge, building that background knowledge. So they had to learn the key vocabulary about what an eclipse is, what's the difference between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse, and what are the different types of shadows that are kind of cast by the moon.
Right.
And so the big thing was just kind of figuring out perception and perspective. We measured the distance from the moon to Earth and the sun to Earth.
Okay, good.
And we compared the different distances and the shapes and stuff like that. Then we got into the definitions, but the penumbra and the umbra shadows and what's a total eclipse and what's a partial eclipse. Once we figured that out, we of course talk about the safety of it, right?
Right.
And so we talk about the dangers of direct UV rays on their eyes, and we talked about the pupils and the corneas and all that fun stuff as well.
I see a lot of cereal boxes out
Absolutely,
here. What are those
yeah.
cereal boxes?
So the cereal boxes, those are our viewing portals, our viewing boxes. So what the kids have done is they've put a piece of paper on the bottom, a white piece of paper. We talked about that reflecting light versus absorbing light. And they've created a little viewing side on one side and a little porthole on the other. So the light from the sun goes through that little hole that they just thumbtacked through, and it casts a shadow or a light on the bottom of their box. And usually you'd expect to see like a perfect circle. But because the moon is covering up the sun, that circle at the bottom of the portal is actually not a circle, it's being covered up a little bit. So the view that they're seeing is a little bit distorted, essentially, because the moon is distorting that sun's rays. We've also talked about like the way it feels. We've talked about how the air just feels kind of duller, the light feels duller right now. And they're just kind of taking kind of spot checks of where the portals are. Do you want to see one?
Spot checks. I want to see one, but how are they documenting their learning?
Fantastic, yeah. So, I mean, we're a STEAM school, right? So we're always trying to make sure to integrate creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. So one of our big things here is creativity. They were given a task and a challenge, if you will, and they create a poster with that challenge. There are 8 tasks on that challenge, and one of them is record 3 different spot checks at 11 o'clock, 11:10, and 11:20. Because NASA told us 11:20 is about our best chance of seeing the fullest coverage. We're going to be about 67% coverage at about 11:20, which is extremely close to right now. So we have a few more minutes until we have to do our 3rd check. They've already done one at 11.
Okay.
They did one at 11:10, and they're supposed to be recording that on their poster.
Well, let's check in on some students.
Let's go ahead and take a look. All right. Let's come over to
Dr. Menzel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So we made a cereal box in science class the other day, and we put a pinhole through here with paper. So when the sun comes through, you can see it makes a crescent.
Oh, I do see that. Wow. That's very clear.
During this time, 66% or 2/3 of the sun is black, so you only see a little crescent at that point.
So normally you would see a full circle.
Yes.
And so the moon is blocking the view of the sun. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty amazing. That works very well. Did you have fun putting this together?
Very much fun.
And so how are you documenting your learning?
I'm documenting my learning as I'm basically taking notes through here, and basically I'm counting down some minutes in between 11 to 11:10.
And then again at 11:20, right?
Exactly.
So in two more minutes, we should have the best coverage, right?
Yes, exactly. And
as you're looking in there, is it a perfect circle at the bottom, or is it kind of being distorted a little bit?
it's distorted a little bit, and every few minutes I'll see it flash outwards and come back in, and then for a few seconds it will disappear and flash again.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
So what do you think about this experience?
I think it's amazing that I'm able to experience not a total blackout, but a partial.
Right. And in 20 years from now, you'll be able to do this again, right?
Yeah, with maybe a full blackout depending where I am.
Yeah, that would be very exciting. So do you like science?
I love it. I enjoy science every day.
And what do you like most about it?
The opportunity to go out and learn about something and being involved.
Great. Well, thank you, Will, for giving us a little bit of time and showing me your view box here.
Thank you.
So it's really exciting to be on the campus of Laguna today, observing groups of students documenting the solar eclipse as it takes place. And even though it's not a total solar eclipse, students have spent a lot of time learning about what an eclipse is, learning about the shadows that they're reviewing, and they're documenting it. They've been checking the position of the sun and the moon at 11, 11:10, 11:20. They're out here on a playground spread out using the view boxes that they created in the classroom. And it's just exciting to engage and see the way in which their learning is hands-on and applied, and their excitement for science as a result of this learning opportunity. So tell me about your poster, what you're documenting here. What have you been observing today?
Solar eclipse.
Okay, and what is interesting about a solar eclipse?
It gets darker
And why would it get darker?
because the moon, since we're closer to the moon, it makes the moon look bigger than the sun, and so like the moon covers the sun.
So it's blocking out the view of the sun.
Yeah.
And how do you safely view an eclipse?
With those
boxes,
these
glasses, really safe glasses that Miss Shammy had.
Okay, glasses that look like this?
Yeah.
So they protect your eyes from the UV rays?
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it right there. Well, it works very well. Well, thank you for giving us a chance to talk about your project and what you've learned and seeing your view boxes. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
Cool. So, Connor, tell us what an eclipse is. I'm Dr. Menzel, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So it's where the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon kind of align, and then the Sun's rays get blocked out by the Moon on some places on Earth. Where it's darkest, the total eclipse is called the umbra.
Okay.
And then around it, where we are, is the penumbra, where it's like a partial eclipse. And this happens usually like twice a year all over the world.
Great. And is this the first time you've witnessed an eclipse or a partial eclipse?
Yes, like the first time I've looked at it.
Okay. Well, when you're looking at it, it's a crescent shape and the moon is just below the sun. But it is really fascinating.
So here I drew the sun reflecting its rays onto the moon, which then bounces off to the earth, which this is the umbra shadow, which would go up through here, and the penumbra shadow, which would just be here, which would be a partial eclipse, which is where it looks here. I feel excited to learn more about solar eclipse.
So what do you like most about science?
The discoveries and like the fun you can have while like doing it.
This is what we are, right? We're a STEAM school.
Right.
And so when we get a chance to make the learning like actually real and meaningful, this is it, right? And so we had testing this morning. We had these kids sitting in rows and demonstrating that they understood the state and the district adopted material, right? That they know this stuff. But this is like a life experience that they're getting a chance to.
Always remember
they're learning with the experience, right? And if I have a doctor when I grow up, I really hope that he or she, when I grow up, as these kids grow up and become doctors, I need them to know all the medical stuff, right? I need them to know how to diagnose me, but I also need them to know how to like zig if there's something wrong, if a diagnosis is not right. And so we have to kind of create those critical thinking things. And these kids had to figure out how, we looked up how to make these boxes, but we didn't have the right boxes.
Okay.
So like some of them are using shoe boxes, some of them are using cracker boxes, some of them are using, and we tested it out, and when they failed, they had to do it again, right? And so
It's an important part of learning, right?
Absolutely.
We learn by failing.
You design, you create, you test it out, and then you fix.
Absolutely.
And so this is the types of things that kind of get the kids an opportunity to try things out. We were talking about this before we came out here. We did not know what to expect 25 minutes ago, right? And they've already like exceeded their expectations of what could have happened.
I'm really excited to see the way that you've taken advantage of this unique natural phenomena and the opportunity for our students to be able to engage in hands-on learning in a meaningful way. It's pretty clear that the students are excited about their learning, and I think that's what makes Laguna and the STEM program really special here, is that you've really created that hands-on opportunity.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, something special, right? But this is daily. Like, we do things like this all the time in the science lab and in the maker space room. This is like a special, nature gave us this one. But we manufacture those moments too. We manufacture these moments.
So Laguna is a school of choice. Any parent interested in enrolling their kindergartner through 5th grade could come to Laguna?
Absolutely. They should come to Laguna. We have our 4 C's are going to set them up for success long term. We promote creativity, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking, and still hit the standards that we need to hit. You know, we still focus on that stuff too, but we're building a whole child here, a whole human being, over just like textbook, right, fill in worksheets type deal. You know, we're doing both, but we're growing these kids into great human beings.
Well, we appreciate all you do, Mr. Vogan. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for coming. We appreciate you.
It is a reinforcement of our why. It's always because kids, and when you see our students having this opportunity to be able to take advantage of this in any school, but here particularly at Laguna with their STEM focus, it's really exciting. And so it's tremendous today to be out here enjoying this unique celestial event with our students. So we know Laguna is a STEAM school, but I'm not sure that all of our listeners know what STEAM stands for. So I'm here with Principal Spingola and Assistant Principal Kelly, who will be the principal next year. Can you tell us what the STEAM stands for in Laguna's STEAM designation?
So we have science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And one thing that this school does more than anything else is learn about project-based learning and inquiry-based learning. So it's not that we don't have reading and writing. We do have all those subjects too. It's just the strategies teachers use are more of an inquiry-based or problem-based solving.
So today your students are out here experiencing the partial eclipse. Tell us a little bit more about how you prepared for this to ensure that the students were safe, but they had an opportunity to also experience this event.
Absolutely. So we also like to work in collaborative groups. They've all worked in small groups in Mr. Vogan's science class. They've done a lot of pre-learning to gather knowledge for today, and they've made really safe, neat boxes that have allowed them to view the eclipse. Some of them have brought glasses. Of course, we spoke with all the families ahead of time to make sure that it was okay for them to be out here. And they've worked together. I think we've been wandering around and looking at their boxes and seeing what they've learned today. And I think they've done a great job. And Mr. Vogan has enjoyed teaching science for a long time here. We have a state-of-the-art science lab here. We have a state-of-the-art maker space, and it's actually been newly renovated. Mrs. Spingola has been working hard on that, and we're going to reopen that in a couple of weeks, so we're very excited.
So for parents who might be interested in Laguna Elementary, what would they need to do to get a tour or come and visit this special learning opportunity?
We would love to welcome them here at Laguna. Just visit our website, susd.org/Laguna. Call our front office, which is 480-484-2400. We have tours all the time, especially on Wednesdays and Fridays. We have open enrollment going on now. We are a preschool through 5th grade STEAM school, and we're STEM accredited.
So this year we're very fortunate where we have our new 2-year-old program. So we have a 2-year-old program, 3-year-olds, and 4-year-olds. And our 2-year-old program is just full, and those kids are delightful. If you're ever having a sad day, you just go there and they bring a smile to your face. They are great, great Laguna Eagles.
So we are an award-winning school. We're very, very lucky to have Mrs. Spingola this year, and I'm excited to take over next year, and we'd love to welcome kids here. We're constantly growing. We have room to grow, but we are a very popular school, so I would definitely recommend that you schedule a tour and come see us anytime.
We invite you to join us on this exciting podcasting journey, anytime or place that suits you. Tune into Spotlight as we shine a light on the extraordinary stories that make the Scottsdale Unified School District a truly exceptional place. Stay tuned for future episodes, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any inspiring stories from the heart of SUSD.
And please, we hope you will take a moment to pitch us your ideas. Share with us who you know in the community that might be a great podcast guest for us to welcome. We look forward to hearing from you at our website, susd.org/spotlight.
We hope you enjoy the podcast. And as a reminder, everything that we do here in Scottsdale is because kids.